Welcome. My name is Bryn Boyce, and I am Associate Artistic Director of Commonwealth Shakespeare Company and Director of the CSC Academy. Thank you for joining us tonight for part 2 of a 2-part showcase for our 2020 Virtual Apprentice Company. This night is designed as a celebration of works in progress, a way to share our work with each other and with you, and a little bit of our journey, the journey we've taken together these past 6 weeks, working on Shakespeare's text and voice, all via Zoom. Tonight, you'll see Group B, 20 apprentices from all over the country sharing their scenes and monologues. If you missed Group A, I believe their night is still up on the CSC YouTube channel. Please also be sure to check out CSC's online script-in-hand performance of The Tempest starring John Douglas Thompson tomorrow. Yes, this Thursday night, August 6th at 7 p.m. And information on that can be found at www.comshakes.org. Over to Victoria.
Hi, I'm Victoria Townsend, Artistic Programs Manager for CSC and Coordinator for our Academy. We're really glad that you could join us tonight. Like so many of you, we've spent the last several months learning how to translate our work to virtual mediums like this one. And we're so proud of the work that our students have begun to explore in this new format and the many ways that it has sparked their imagination. And while the possibilities of technology and connection this time are really exciting, we also know that sometimes technology does not always work perfectly. So our students and our staff are performing from their homes this evening, and as such, we expect we might have some glitches of Wi-Fi networks or other fun surprises as we all navigate performing around pets and family and roommates and more. So should a major technical glitch happen, we will maybe have a special guest appearance from our production manager, Madeline, who's going to help us continue through the evening and make sure that we get to see all of the wonderful work of all of our students. So with that, I will turn things over to our first pair. We hope you enjoy.
Break a leg.
Hi, I'm Sean Passero.
And I'm Eva Olivia Catanzariti.
And we will be doing a scene from Twelfth Night. Now, good Cesario, but that piece of song, that old and antique song we heard last night, methought it did relieve my passion much, more than light airs and recollected terms of these most brisk and giddy-paced times. Come, but one verse.
Come away, come away, death, and in sad cypress let me be laid. Fly away, breath, oh, fly away, breath. I am slain by a fair, cool maid.
Come hither, boy. If ever thou shalt love, in the sweet pangs of it, remember me. For such as I am, all true lovers are, unstayed and skittish in all motions else, save in the constant image of the creature that is beloved. How dost thou like this tune?
It gives a very echo to the seat where love is throned.
Thou dost speak masterly. Ooh, young though thou art, thine eye hath stayed upon some favor that it loves, hath it not, boy?
A little, by your favor.
What kind of woman is't?
Of your complexion.
She is not worth thee, then. What years of faith?
About your years, my lord.
Too old. Let still the woman take an elder than herself, so wears she to him. So sways she level in her husband's heart. For boy, however we do praise ourselves, our fancies are more giddy and unfirm, more longing, wavering, sooner lost and worn than women's are.
I think it well, my lord.
Then let thy love be younger than thyself, or thy affection cannot hold the bent. For women are as roses whose fair flower, being once displayed, doth fall that very hour.
And so they are. Alas, that they are so, to die and when they to perfection grow.
Once more, Cesario, get thee to yon same sovereign cruelty. Tell her my love, more noble than the world, prizes not quantity of dirty lands, The parts that fortune hath bestowed upon her, tell her I hold as giddily as fortune. But 'tis that miracle and queen of gems that nature pranks her in attracts my soul.
But if she cannot love you, sir.
I cannot be so answered.
Sooth, but you must. Say that some lady, as perhaps there is, hath for your love as great a pang of heart as you have for Olivia. You cannot love her. You tell her so. Must she not then be answered?
There is no woman's sides can bide the beating of so strong a passion as love doth give my heart. No woman's heart so big to hold so much. They lack retention. Alas, their love may be called appetite. No motion of the liver but the palate that suffers surfeit, cloyment, and revolt. But mine is all as hungry as the sea, and can digest as much. Make no compare between that love a woman can bear me, and that I owe Olivia.
Aye, but I know.
What dost thou know?
Too well what love women to men may owe. In faith they are as true of heart as we. My father had a daughter, loved a man. As it might be, perhaps, were I woman, I should your lordship.
And what's her history?
A blank, my lord. She never told her love, but let concealment, like a worm in the bud, feed on her damask cheek. She pined in thought, and with a green and yellow melancholy she sat like patience on a monument, smiling at grief. Was not this love indeed? We men may say more, swear more, but indeed our shows are more than will. For still we prove much in our vows, but little in our love.
But died thy sister of her love, my boy?
I am all the daughters of my father's house. And all the brothers too, and yet I know not. Sir, shall I to this lady?
Aye, that's the theme. To her in haste. Give her this jewel. Say my love can give no place, bide no denay.
Thank you. And now I will be performing Goneril from King Lear. This admiration, sir, is much of the savor of other your new pranks. I do beseech you to understand my purposes aright. As you are old and reverend, should be wise. Here do you keep 100 knights and squires, men so disordered, so debauched and bold, that this our court, infected with their manners, shows like a riotous inn. Epicurism and lust makes it more like a tavern or a brothel than a graced palace. The shame itself doth speak for instant remedy. Be then desired by her that else will take the thing she begs, a little to disquantity your train, and the remainders that shall still depend to be such men as may be sort your age, which know themselves and you. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Sean Passero, and I will be performing Iago's monologue from Othello. And what's he then that says I play the villain, when this advice is free I give and honest, probable to thinking and indeed the course to win the more again? For 'tis most easy the inclining Desdemona to subdue in any honest suit. She's framed as fruitful as the free elements, and then for her to win the more were it to renounce his baptism, all seals and symbols of redeemed sin. His soul is so enfettered to her love that she may make, unmake, do what she list, even as her appetite shall play the god with his weak function. How am I then a villain to counsel Cassio to this parallel course, directly to his good? Divinity of hell! When devils will the blackest sins put on, they do suggest at first with heavenly shows as I do now. For whiles this honest fool plies Desdemona to repair his fortune, and she for him pleads strongly to the more, I'll pour this pestilence into his ear, that she repeals him for her body's lust. And by how much she strives to do him good, she shall undo her credit with the more. So will I turn her virtue into pitch, and out of her own goodness make the net that shall enmesh them all. Thank you.
Why droops my lord like over-ripened corn, hanging the head at Ceres' plenteous load? Why doth the great Duke Humphrey knit his brows, as frowning at the favors of the world? Why are thine eyes fixed to the sullen earth, gazing on that which seems to dim thy sight? What seest thou there? King Henry's golden crown, encased with all the honors of the world? If so, gaze on, and grovel on thy face, until thy head be circled with the same. Put forth thy hand, reach at the glorious gold. What is too short? I'll lengthen it with mine, and having both together heaved it up, we'll both together lift our heads to heaven, and nevermore abase our sight so low as to vouchsafe one glance unto the ground.
Oh, Nell, sweet Nell, if thou dost love thy lord, banish the canker of ambitious thoughts. And may that thought, when I imagine ill against my king and nephew, virtuous Henry, be my last breathing in this mortal world. My troublous dream this night doth make me sad.
What dreamed my lord? Tell me, and I'll requite it with sweet rehearsal of my morning's dream.
Methought the staff, mine office badge in court, was broke in twain, by whom I have forgot, but as I think 'twas by the cardinal. And on the pieces of the broken wand were placed the heads of Edmund, Duke of Somerset, and William de la Pole, first Duke of Suffolk. This was my dream. What it doth bode, God knows.
Tut, this was nothing but an argument, that he that breaks a stick of Gloucester's grove shall lose his head for his presumption. But list to me, my Humphrey, my sweet Duke. Methought I sat in seat of majesty in the Cathedral Church of Westminster, and in the chair where kings and queens are crowned, where Henry and Dame Margaret kneeled to me, and on my head did set the golden ring.
Nay, Eleanor, then must I chide outright. Presumptuous dame, ill-nurtured Eleanor, art thou not second woman in the realm, and the protector's wife, beloved of him? Hast thou not worldly pleasure at command, above the reach or compass of thy thought? And wilt thou still be hammering treachery to tumble down thy husband and thyself from top of honor to disgrace's feet? Away from me, and let me hear no more.
What, my lord, are you so choleric with Eleanor for telling but her dream? Next time I'll keep my dreams unto myself, and not be checked.
Nay, be not angry. I am pleased again. I must prepare to ride into St. Albans, whereas the king and queen do mean to hawk. Come, Nell, thou wilt ride with us?
Yes, my good lord, I'll follow presently. Follow I must. I cannot go before, while Gloucester bears his base and humble mind. Were I a man, a duke, and next of blood, I would remove these tedious stumbling blocks and smooth my way upon their headless necks. And being a woman, I will not be slack to play my part in fortune's pageant. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Will DeJaney, and I'll be performing a Barone monologue from Love's Labour's Lost. And I, forsooth, in love. I, that have been love's whip, a very beadle to a humorous sigh, a critic, nay, a night watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no mortal so magnificent. This wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior junior, giant dwarf, Dan Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator and great general of trotting parters. Oh, my little heart, and I to be a corporal of his field, and wear his colors like a tumbler's hoop. What's I? I love. I sue. I seek a wife. A woman that is like a German clock, still repairing, ever out of frame, never going right, being a watch, but being watched that it may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all. And among three, to love the worst of all. A whitely wanton with a velvet brow, with two pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes. Aye, and by heaven, one that will do the deed, though Argus were her eunuch and her guard. And I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to! It is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty, dreadful little mite. Well, I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan. Thank you.
Hello again. My name is Nettie Chickering, and I'll be doing Queen Margaret from Henry VI, Part 3. What? Was it you that would be England's king? Was't you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George? And where's that valiant crookback prodigy, Dicky, your boy, that with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? And with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford with his rapier's point made issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for his death, I give thee this to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly, I should lament thy miserable state. I prithee grieve to make me merry, York. What? Hath thy fiery heart so parched thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Thou wouldst be feed, I see, to make me sport. A crown for York, and lords bow low to him. Aye, marry, sir, now looks he like a king. Aye, this is he that took King Henry's chair, and this is he was his adopted heir. But how is it that great Plantagenet is crowned so soon and broke his solemn oath? As I bethink me, you should not be king till our King Henry had shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory and rob his temples of the golden crown, now in his life, against your holy oath? Oh, 'tis a fault too unpardonable. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head. And whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sophie Linton-Toomey.
And I'm Bella Costantino Kerrigan.
I'm Cassius.
And I'm Brutus.
And this is a scene from Julius Caesar. That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Palla for taking bribes here of the Sardians, wherein my letters, praying on his side because I knew the man, were slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this, it is not meet, but every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and mart your offices for gold to undeservers.
I an itching palm. You know that you are Brutus that speak this, or by the gods this speech were e'er your last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement.
Remember March? The Ides of March, remember? Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab, and not for justice? What, shall one of us that struck the foremost man in all this world contaminate our fingers with base bribes? I had rather be a dog and bathe the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, hate not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to, you are not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more. I shall forget myself. Have a mind upon your help. Tempt me no further.
Away, slight man!
As possible.
Hear me, for I will speak. Shall I be frighted when a madman stares?
Gods, ye gods, must I endure all this?
All this, I, more, fret till your proud heart break. Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? By the gods, I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter, when you are waspish.
It's come to this.
You say you are a better soldier? Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true.
You wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I said an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me.
Peace, you durst not so have tempted him. No!
Durst not tempt him.
For your life, you durst not.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that which I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you shall be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. I had rather coin my heart than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts, dash him to pieces!
I warned you not.
You did.
He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath ripped my heart. Friend should bear his friend's affirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not till you practice them on me. I do not like your faults.
I can never see such faults.
Oh, flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Anthony, and young Octavius Saul, be revenged on Cassius, for Cassius is aweary of the world, hated by one he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondman, all his faults to climb up into my teeth, that I can weep mine spirit from mine eyes. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast. I that denied thee gold. My heart. Strike, as thou didst Caesar, for I know when thou didst hate him worth, thou lovest him better than ever thou did Cassius.
Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will, it will have scope. Do what you will, dishonor shall be humor. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced shows a hasty spark and straight is cold again.
Cassius lived so long, but he mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him.
When I said that, I was ill-tempered too.
You confess so much. Give me your hand.
And my heart, too.
Oh, Virtus.
What's the matter?
Have you not love enough to bear with me? When that rash humor that my mother gave me makes me forgetful.
Yes, Cassius. And from henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides, and leave you so. All right, hello. I am still Bella Costantino Kerrigan, and now I will be performing Edmund's monologue from King Lear. Thou, nature, art my goddess, to thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom, and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, for that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother? Why, bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind as generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue, I brand they us with base, with baseness, bastardy, base, who, in the lusty stealth of nature, take more composition and fierce quality than doth, within a dull, stale, tired bed, go to the creating a whole tribe of fops got tween asleep and wake. Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate. Fine word, legitimate. Well, my legitimate, if this letter speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow, I prosper. Now, gods, stand up for bastards. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm still Sophie Layton Toomey, and I will be playing Queen Margaret from Henry VI, Part 3. Enforced thee. Art thou king and will be forced? I shame to hear thee speak. Ah, timorous wretch! Thou hast undone thyself, thy son, and me, and given unto the house of York such head as shall rule but by their sufferings. To entail him and his heirs unto the crown, what is it but to make thy sepulchre and creep into it far before thy time? Warwick is chancellor and lord of Calais. Stern Falconbridge commands the narrow seas. The duke is made protector of the realm. And yet thou wilt be safe. Such safety finds the trembling lamb environed with wolves. Had I been there, which I'm a silly woman, the soldiers would have put me on their pikes before I had granted to that act. But thou preferest thy life before thine honor. And seeing thou dost, I hereby divorce myself from both thy table, Henry, and thy bed, till that act of parliament be repealed, whereby my son is disinherited. The northern lords that have forsworn thy colours will follow mine, if once they see them spread, and spread they shall be, to thy foul disgrace, and to the utter ruin of the house of York. Thus do I leave thee. Come, son, let's away. Our army is ready. Come, we'll after them. Thank you so much.
Hello, we will be doing a scene from Romeo and Juliet.
We will be doing a scene from Act 3, Scene 2.
Thank you.
Imy, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, weary day. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. We are undone, lady. We are undone. Alack the day. He's gone. He's killed. He's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, whoever would have thought it, Romeo.
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? If he be slain, say aye, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw with mine eyes. God save the mark here on his manly breast. A piteous corse, a bloody, piteous corse, pale, pale as ashes, all betubbed in blood, all in gore blood. I swooned at the sight.
Oh, break my heart, poor bankrupt, break it once.
Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I had.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dear lord? Then dreadful trumpets sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh, serpent heart hid with the flowering face! Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, just opposite to what thou justly seemst. Oh, the deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There is no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours life, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistaking offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain. And Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished, that one word banished, had slain 10,000 Tybalts. Why followed not when she said, Tybalt's dead, with thy father, or thy mother, nay, or both? Which modern lamentation might have moved. But with a rearward following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end. No limits measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears? Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment.
Hie to your chamber, I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I'll to him, he is hid at Lauren's cell.
Thank you. Hi again, I'm Harper, and I will be doing one of Imogen's monologues from Cymbeline. I see a man's life is a tedious one. I have tired myself, and for 2 nights together have made the ground my bed. I should be sick, but that my resolution helps me. Milford, when from the mountain top Pisanio showed thee, thou wast within a ken. Ah, Jove! I think foundations fly the wretched. Such I mean where they should be relieved. 2 beggars told me I could not miss my way. Will poor folks lie that have afflictions on them, knowing 'tis a punishment or a trial? Yes, no wonder when rich ones scarce tell true. To lapse in fullness is sorer than to lie for need, and falsehood is worse in kings than beggars. My lord, thou art one of the false ones. Now that I think on thee, my hunger's gone, but even before I was at point to sink for food. But what is this? Here is a path to it. 'Tis some savage hold. I were best not call. I dare not call. Yet famine, ere clean and overthrown nature makes valiant. Plenty and peace breeds cowards. Hardness ever of hardiness is mother. Ho! Who's here? If anything civil, speak. If savage, take or lend. Ho? No answer. Then I'll enter. Best draw my sword, and if mine enemy but fear the sword like me, he'll scarce look on it. Such a foe, good heavens. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andre Martin, and I will be doing Macbeth's monologue from Act 1, Scene 7. Thank you. If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow would be the be-all and end-all here. But here upon this bank and shoal of time we jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instruction, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against the murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculty so meek, hath been so clear in his grave office that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherub horsed upon the sightless carriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spurs to prick the sides of my intent, only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls unto the other. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sydney Jo Schneider.
And I'm Sarah Pollock.
And we will be doing a scene from Measure for Measure, Act 3, Scene 1. Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador, where you shall be in everlasting ledger. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
None, but such remedy as to save a head, to cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge, if you'll implore it, that will free your life, but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance?
Aye, just perpetual durance. A restraint, though all the world's vestidity you had to a determined scope.
But in what nature?
In such a one as you consenting to it would bark your honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point!
Oh, I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake, lest thou a feverous life shouldst entertain, and 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor. Darest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies.
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch from this flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride, and hug it in mine arms.
There spake my brother. There my father's grave did utter forth the voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sainted deputy, whose settled visage and deliberate word nips youth in the head, and follies doth immue as falcon doth fowl, is yet a devil. His filth within being cast, he would appear upon as deep as hell.
Princely Angelo?
Oh, 'tis the cunning livery of hell, the damn its body to invest and cover in princely guards. Dost thou think, Claudio, if I would yield him my virginity, thou mightst be freed?
Oh, heavens, it cannot be.
Yes, he would give it thee from this rank offense, so to offend him still. This night's the time that I should do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do it.
Oh, were it but my life, I'd throw it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pin.
Thanks, dear Isabel.
Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow.
Yes. Has he affections in him that thus would make him bite the law by the nose when he would force it? Surely it is no sin, or of the deadly 7 it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he for the momentary trick be perdurably fined, O Isabel?
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shamed life a hateful.
Aye, but to die? And go we know not where, to lie in cold obstruction, and to rot the sensible war motion, to become a kneaded clod, and the delighted spirit, to bathe in fiery flood, or to reside in thrilling region of thick ribbed ice, to be imprisoned in the viewless winds, and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world, or to be worse than worst of those, that lawless and uncertain thoughts imagine howling. 'Tis too horrible, the weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas!
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life, nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
Oh, you beast! Oh, faithless coward! Oh, dishonest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? Is not a kind of incest to take life from thine own sister's shame? What should I think? Heaven shield my mother, played my father fair, for such a warped slip of wilderness ne'er issued from his blood. Take my defiance, die, perish. Might but my bending down reprieve thee from thy fate, it should proceed. I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death, no word to save thee.
Nay, hear me, Isabel.
Oh, fie, fie, fie! Thy sin's not accidental, but a trade. Mercy to thee would prove itself a bawd. 'Tis best that thou diest quickly.
Oh, hear me, Isabella! Hi, my name is Sydney again, and I will be performing Helena's monologue from All's Well That Ends Well. Then I confess, here on my knee, before high heaven and you, that before you and next unto high heaven I love your son. My friends were poor, but honest, so's my love. Be not offended, for it hurts not him that he is loved of me. I follow him not by any token of presumptuous suit, nor would I have him till I do deserve him, yet never know how that desert should be. I know I love in vain, strive against hope, yet in this captious and untenable sieve I still pour in the waters of my love, and lack not to lose still. Thus, devotee-like, religious in mine error, I adore the sun that looks upon his worshipper, but knows of him no more. My dearest madam, let not your hate encounter with my love for loving where you do. But if yourself, whose aged honor cites a virtuous youth, did ever in so true a frame of liking wish chastely, and love dearly that your dean was both herself and love, oh, then give pity to her whose state that cannot choose, but lend and give where she is sure to lose, that seeks not to find what her search implies, but riddle-like lives sweetly where she dies. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah Pollock again, and I'm doing Julia from Two Gentlemen of Verona. Oh, hateful hands to tear such loving words, injurious wasps to feed on such sweet honey, and kill the bees that yield it with your stings. A kiss each several paper for amends. Look, here is writ kind Julia. Unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. Look, here is writ love-wounded Proteus. Poor wounded name. My bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed. And thus I search it with a sovereign kiss. But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Become, good wind, blow not a word away till I have found each letter in the letter, except mine own name. That some whirlwind bear into a ragged, fearful, hanging rock, and throw it thence into the raging sea. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor forlorn Proteus. Passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia, that'll tear away. And yet I will not. Sit so prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus will I fold them, one on another. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will. Thank you.
Hi, we will be doing Act 4, Scene 1 from Much Ado About Nothing. Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I shall weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason, I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Well, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
Surely I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is that not strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. Or were possible for me to say, I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I'm sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offends, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart?
I love you so much that there is none left of my heart to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Terry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. I pray you let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends than fight mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not assumed in the height of villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man, but bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor, oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties, a princely testimony, a goodly count confect, a sweet gallant surely, oh, that I were a man for his sake. Or that I had any man would be a friend for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are turned to tongue, and trim ones too. He's now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore, I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul that Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say that she is dead. And so farewell. Hi again. I'm Pearl Emerson, and I will be doing a monologue from Troilus and Cressida. Hard to seem one, but I was one, my lord, from the first glance that ever. Pardon me. If I confess much, you will play the tyrant. I love you now, but not till now, so much that I might master it. In faith, I lie. My thoughts were like unbridled children grown too headstrong for their mother. Stop my mouth! Who will be true to us when we are so unsecret to ourselves? But, though I loved you well, I wooed you not. And yet, good faith, I wished myself a man, or that we women had men's privilege of speaking first. Sweet, bid me hold my tongue, for in this rapture I shall surely speak the thing I will repent. See your silence, cunning in dumbness, from my weakness draws my very soul of counsel. Stop my mouth. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Colagrande, and this is Portia from The Merchant of Venice. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest and the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above his sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that In the course of justice, none of us shall see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and in that same prayer doth teach us all to render thy deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which, if thou follows, the strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there. Thank you.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I am afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark, I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss 'em. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
I.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other. As they had seen me with these hangman's hands, listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more, to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water, and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them, and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on't again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose! Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is't with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are these, huh? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous season incarnadine, making the green ones red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Hi, my name is Sarah Friedman, and this is a Philip the Bastard monologue from King John. Mad world, mad kings, mad composition. John, to stop Arthur's title in the whole, hath willingly departed with a part, and France, whose armor conscience buckled on as God's own soldier, rounded in the ear with that same purpose changer, that sly devil, that daily break vow, he that wins of all, of kings, of beggars, old men, young men, maids, who having no external thing to lose but the word maid, cheats the poor maid of that smooth-faced gentleman, tickling commodity. Commodity, the bias of the world who of itself is paised well, made to run even upon even ground, till this advantage, this vile drawing bias, this sway of motion, this commodity, makes it take head from all indifferency. And this same bias, this commodity, clapped on the outward eye of fickle France, hath drawn him from his own determined aid, from a resolved and honorable war, to a most base and vile concluded peace. And why rail I on this commodity? But for because he hath not wooed me yet. Not that I have the power to clutch my hand when his fair angels would salute my palm, but for my hand, as unattempted yet, like a poor beggar, raileth on the rich. Well, whiles I am a beggar, I will rail, and say there is no sin but to be rich. And being rich, my virtue then shall be to say, there is no vice but beggary. Since kings break faith upon commodity, gain be my lord, for I will worship thee. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Evan Brodsky, and I will be doing Barone from Love's Labour's Lost. And I, forsooth, in love, I that have been love's whip, a very beetle to a humorous sigh, a critic, nay, a night watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no mortal so magnificent. This wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior junior giant dwarf, damn Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator and great general of trotting paradors. Oh, my little heart! And I to be a corporal of his field, and wear his colors like a tumbler's hoop. What I love, I sue. I seek a wife, a woman that is like a German clock, still a repairing, ever out of frame, and never going aright, being a watch, but being watched, that it may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all, and among three, to love the worst of all, a whitely wanton with a velvet brow, with two pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes, aye, and by heaven, one that will do the deed, though Argus be her eunuch and her guard, and I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to, it is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty, dreadful little might. Well, I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan. Thank you.
But say, Lucetta, now we're alone, wouldst then counsel me to fall in love?
Ay, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair sort of gentlemen that every day with parle encounter me, in thy opinion, which is worthiest love?
Please to repeat their names. I'll show my mind according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thinkest thou of the fair Sir Eglamour?
As a knight, well spoken, neat, and fine, but were I you, he should never be mine.
What thinkest thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well of his wealth, but of himself, so-so.
What thinkest thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
How now, what means his passion at his name?
Pardon, dear madam, 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus on lovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus as of all the rest?
Then thus, of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have no reason but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why, he of all the rest hath never moved me.
Yet he of all the rest I think best loves ye.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
Oh, they love least that let men know their love.
I would I knew his mind.
Peruse this paper, madam.
To Julia, say from whom?
That the contents will show.
They say who gave it thee?
Valentine's page, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it you, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Pardon the fault, I pray.
Now, by my modesty, a goodly broker, dare you presume to harbor wanton lines, to whisper and conspire against my youth? Now trust me, 'tis an office of great worth, and you an officer fit for the place, or else return no more into my sight.
The plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will ye be gone?
That you may ruinate.
And yet I would I had o'erlooked the letter. It were a shame to call her back again, and pray her to a fault for which I chid her. What ho! Lucetta!
What would your ladyship?
It's near dinner time.
I would it were, that you might kill your stomach upon your meat and not upon your maid.
What is that you took up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why didst thou stoop then?
To take a paper up that I let fall.
And is that paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Then let it lie for those that it concerns.
Madam, it will not lie where it concerns unless it have a false interpreter.
Some love of yours hath writ you in rhyme.
Ay, madam, I could sing it to a tune. Give me a note. Your ladyship consent.
As little by such toys as may be possible, best sing to the tune of Light O Love.
Methinks it is too heavy for so light a tune.
Heavy? Belike it hath some burden then?
Ay, madam, and melodious were it. Would you sing it?
And why not you?
I cannot reach so high.
Let's see your song! How now, minion?
Keep tune there, sing it out. And yet, methinks I do not like this tune.
You do not?
No, madam. It is too sharp.
You, minion, are too saucy. Hi, my name is Sophie Collins, and today I will be doing a monologue from Two Noble Kinsmen. Thank you. I was acquainted once with a time when I enjoyed a playfellow. You were at wars when she the grave enriched.
who made to proud the bed, took leave of the mood which then looked pale at parting when our count was each 11. You talk of Pirithous and Theseus' love. Theirs has more ground, is more maturely seasoned, more buckled with strong judgment, and their needs, the one of the other, may be said to water their intertangled roots of love. But I sigh and spoke of for things innocent. Loved, for we did, and like the elements that know not what nor why, yet do affect rare issues by their operance. Our souls did so to one another. What she liked was then of me approved, what not condemned, no more raiment. On my head no toy but was her pattern, her affections pretty, though happily her careless wear. I followed for my most serious decking. Had mine ears stolen some new air, or at adventure hummed one from musical coinage, why, it was a note whereon her spirits would sojourn, rather dwell on and sing it in her slumbers. This rehearsal which every innocent Watts wells comes in like old importments bastards hath this end, that the true love between maid and maid may be more than in sex individual. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erin Grotus-Gimble, and I will be doing Luciana's monologue from the Comedy of Errors. And may it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office? Shall Antipholus, even in the spring of love thy love springs rot? Shall love in building grow so ruinous? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake use her with more kindness. Or if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle your false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. Be not thy tongue thy own shame's orator. Look sweet, speak fair, become disloyalty. Apparel vice like virtue's harbinger. Bear a fair presence, though your heart be tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. Be secret false, what need she be acquainted? What simple thief brags of his own attaint? 'Tis double wrong to truant with your bed, and let her read it in thy looks at board. Shame hath a bastard fame well managed. Evil deeds are doubled with an evil word. Alas, poor women, make us but believe, be compact of credit that you love us, while others have the arm, show us the sleeve. We in your motion turn, and you may move us. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Celeste.
And I'm Ellie.
And we are also doing a scene from The Two Gentlemen of Verona. But say, Lucetta, now we are alone. Wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Aye, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with parle encounter me, in thy opinion, which is worthiest love?
Pray you repeat their names. I will show my mind according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thinkst thou of the fair Sir Eglamour?
As of a knight, well-spoken, neat and fine, but were I you, he should never be mine.
What thinkst thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well of his wealth, but of himself so-so.
What thinkst thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
Oh, what means this passion at his name?
Pardon, dear madam, 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus on lovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus as of all the rest?
Then thus, of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have no other but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why, he of all the rest hath never moved me.
Yet he of all the rest I think best loves ye.
Little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
Oh, they love least that let men know their love.
I would I knew his mind.
Peruse this paper, madam.
To Julia? Say from whom?
That the contents will show.
Say, who gave it thee?
Valentine's page, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it to you, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Pardon the fault, I pray.
Dare you presume to harbor wanton lines? Return no more into my sight.
The plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will ye be gone?
That you may ruminate.
And yet I would I had o'erlooked the letter. How churlishly I chid Lucetta hence. My penance is to call Lucetta back and ask remission for my folly past. What ho, Lucetta?
What would your ladyship?
Is it near dinner time?
I would it were that you might kill your stomach on your meat and not upon your maid.
That you took up so gingerly.
Nothing.
Is that paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Some love of yours hath writ to you in rhyme.
That I might sing it, madam, to a tune. Give me a note, your ladyship consent.
Best sing it to the tune of Light o' Love.
Oh, 'tis too heavy for so light a tune.
Heavy? Belike it hath some burden then.
Aye, and melodious were it would. You sing it.
And why not you?
I cannot reach so high.
Let's see your song. How now, minion? This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Go get you gone, and let the papers lie.
She makes it strange, but she would be best pleased to be so angered with another letter.
Oh! Hateful hands to tear such loving words. Look, here is writ, kind Julia, unkind Julia. As in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones. And here is writ, love-wounded Proteus. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia. That I'll tear away. And yet I will not, sit so prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus will I fold them, one upon the other. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will. Hello again. This is Isabella from Measure for Measure. To whom should I complain? Did I tell this, who would believe me? Oh, perilous mouths, that bear in them one and the selfsame tongue, either of condemnation or reproof, bidding the law make curtsy to their will, hooking both right and wrong to the appetite to follow as it draws. I'll to my brother. Though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, yet hath he in him such a mind of honor that had he 20 heads to tender down on 20 bloody blocks, he'd yield them up before his sister should her body stoop to such abhorred pollution. Then Isabel live chaste, and brother die. More than our brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request, and fit his mind to death for his soul's rest. Thank you.
Hi again, my name is Ellie Armitage, and I'm going to be performing as Queen Margaret from Henry VI, Part 3. What? Was it you that would be England's king? Was you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and lusty George? Where's that valiant crookback prodigy, Dicky, your boy, that with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or, with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford, with his rapier's point, made issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for his death, I give thee this, to dry thy cheeks withal. What? Hath thy fiery heart so parched to thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldst be mad, and I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus. Stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. Thou wouldst be feed, I see, to make me sport. Oh, York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York, and lords, bow low to him, and hold you his hands while I do set it on. Aye, marry, sir, now looks he like a king. As I bethinks to me, you should not be king till our King Henry hath shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory and rob his temples of the diadem now in his life against your holy oath? 'Tis a fault too unpardonable. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head. And whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead. Thank you.
What good that is covered with the face of heaven to be discovered that can do me good?
The advancement of your children, gentle lady.
Up to some scaffold, they are to lose their heads.
Unto the dignity and height of fortune, the high imperial type of this earth's glory.
Flatter my sorrow with report of it. Tell me what state, what dignity, what honor canst thou demise to any child of mine?
They know that from my soul I love thy daughter.
Though from thy soul's love didst thou love her brothers, and from my heart's love I do thank thee for it.
Be not so hasty to confound my meaning. I mean that with my soul I love thy daughter, and do intend to make her Queen of England.
Well then, who dost thou mean shall be her king?
In he that makes her queen, who else should be?
What, thou?
So, how think you of it?
How canst thou woo her?
That would I learn of you, as one being best acquainted with her humor.
Send to her, by the man that slew her brothers, a pair of bleeding hearts. Thereon engrave Edward and York. Then haply will she weep. If this inducement move her not to love, send to her a letter of thy noble deeds. Tell her how thou madest away her uncle Clarence, her uncle Rivers, aye, and for her sake madest quick conveyance with her good Aunt Anne.
You mock me, madam. This is not the way to win your daughter.
There is no other way, unless thou couldst put on some other shape and not be Richard, that hath done all this.
Look, what is done cannot be now amended. If I did take the kingdom from your sons, to make amends, I will give it to your daughter. If I have killed the issue of your womb to quicken your increase, I will beget mine issue of your blood upon your daughter. The loss you have is but a son being king. And by that loss, your daughter is made queen. I cannot give you what amends I would. Therefore, accept such kindness as I can. Again shall you be mother to a king, and all the ruins of distressful times repaired with double riches of content. What? We have many goodly days to see. Go then, my mother, to thy daughter, go.
What were I best to say? Her father's brother shall be her lord, or shall I say her uncle, or he that slew her brothers and her uncles?
Say, she shall be a high and mighty queen.
Veil the title, as her mother doth.
Say, I will love her everlastingly.
But how long shall that title ever last?
Be enforced upon a fair life's end.
But how long fairly shall her sweet life last?
As long as heaven and nature lengthens it.
As long as hell and Richard likes of it.
Your reasons are too shallow and too quick.
No, my reasons are too deep and dead. Too deep and dead, poor infants in their graves.
Harp on that string, madam, that is past.
Harp on it still shall I till heartstrings break.
Now, by my George, my garter, and my crown.
Profaned, dishonored, and the third usurped.
I swear.
Nothing, for this is no oath. If something thou wouldst swear to be believed, swear then by something that thou hast not wronged.
By myself.
Thyself is self-misused.
No, by the world.
'Tis full of thy foul wrongs.
My father's death.
Thy life hath it dishonored.
Why then, by God!
God's wrong is most of all. If thou hadst feared to take an oath by him, the imperial metal circling now thy head had graced the tender temples of my child. What canst thou swear by now?
The time to come.
That thou hast wrung it in time or past. For I myself have many tears to wash hereafter time, for time past wronged by thee.
As I intend to prosper and repent, so thrive I in these dangerous affairs of hostile arms. Myself confound. In her consist mine happiness and thine. Without her follows to myself and thee, herself, the land, and many a Christian soul, death, desolation, ruin, and decay. Cannot be avoided but by this. It will not be avoided but by this. Therefore, dear mother, I must call you so. Be the attorney of my love to her. Plead what I will be, not what I have been. Not my deserts, but what I will deserve.
Shall I be tempted of the devil thus?
Aye, if the devil tempt you to do good.
If thou didst kill my children.
But in your daughter's womb, I bury them.
Shall I go win my daughter to thy will?
And be a happy mother by the deed.
Hello, my name is Sarah Schrader, and I'll be doing the Jailer's Daughter monologue from the Two Noble Kinsmen. Why should I love this gentleman? 'Tis odds he never will affect me. I am base. My father is the mean keeper of his prison, and he a prince. To marry him is hopeless. To be his whore is witless. Out upon it! What pushes are we wenches driven to when 15 once has found us? First, I saw him. I, seeing, thought he was a goodly man. He has as much to please a woman in him, if it please him to bestow it so, as ever these eyes yet looked on. Next I pitied him, And so would any young wench in my conscience that ever dreamed or vowed her maidenhead to a handsome young man. Then I loved him, extremely loved him, infinitely loved him. Yet he had a cousin, as fair as he too. But in my heart was Palamon, and there, Lord, what a coil he keeps! To hear him sing in an evening, what a heaven it is! Yet his songs are sad ones. Fairer spoken was never gentleman. When I come in to bring him water in a morning, first he bows his noble body, then salutes me thus. Fair, gentle maid, good morrow. May thy goodness get thee a happy husband. Once he kissed me, I love my lips the better 10 days after. Would he would do so every day. It grieves much, and me as much to see his misery. What should I do to make him know I love him, for I would fain enjoy him? Say I ventured to set him free. What says the law then? Thus much for law or kindred. I will do it, and this night or tomorrow he shall love me. Thank you.
Hello again, my name is Daniel Camus, and I'll be reading Edmund's speech from King Lear.
Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom to permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me? For that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother. Why, bastard? Wherefore, base, when my dimensions are as well compact, my mind's as generous, my shapes as true as honest madam's issue, why brand they us with base? With baseness, bastardy base, base. Who in the lusty stealth of nature take more composition and fierce quality than doth within a dull, stale, tired bed go to the creating a whole tribe of fops got between a sleep and wake. Well, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to legitimate. Fine word, legitimate. Well, my legitimate. If this letter speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow. I prosper. Now, gods, stand up for bastards. All right, now that is the conclusion of our apprenticeship showcase. On behalf of the Commonwealth Shakespeare Company, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. There will be a script in hand reading of The Tempest tomorrow at 7. More information on that on the ComShakes website. Thank you again, and wear a mask.